Alright guys, today we're just going to go through what I think are the best units for each stage of Super Battle Road. One thing I should say is this video is just for the it's just for the type stages, I should say. I will probably do another video for the category stages, but this is just for like extreme physical, super physical, extreme int, super int, stuff like that. And another thing I should say is, like, this isn't just what I think, like, oh, this is the best unit of extreme int. I'm saying, like, this is the unit that will carry you. So it's not like the one that will do the most deep defense necessarily. It could just be like, this guy will carry you, whereas, like, maybe, like, Tech Vegito Blue is not the tech unit, or LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or LR Goku and Frieza. They're not the tech unit. And they will do more damage than whoever my tech unit is, probably. Well, sometimes. Depends on RNG. But it's just who can carry you in Super Battle Road the most of each type. Most of these are LRs. In fact, I think all of them are LRs except for one. And I will try and start doing some no-item Super Battle Road stages pretty soon. I'm not 100% sure when that'll happen, though, because that'll have to be post-commentary, and it's weird. Whatever. Anyways, so we're starting off with Extreme Physical. LR Cell. Now, if you are thinking about Extreme Physical, there's a lot of good units. You have Dragon Ball Super Broly. You have Physical Final Form Cooler. You have Easy A Frieza, who's still good, even though LR Frieza's out. You know, there's just a whole lot of options that you have there. But Cell, with his LR stats, attack and defense 90%, and he gets an additional 1 key and 10% attack with existing enemies. So, like, if you get lucky, like, there are some stages where you have, like, 5 enemies, and then he'll have 140% attack, and he'll get 6 more key, and if you get his 12 key super, he deals colossal damage to all enemies, okay, and he recovers 10% of your total HP. So it's just insane, and if you're only facing one enemy, this will raise his attack and cause Mega Colossal, so he will destroy, like, all enemies with this, especially because of the part of his passive, and he heals with it. It's just crazy. So LR Cell, I would say that he is the best Extreme Physical unit, and I will say he will carry you the most in Extreme Physical Super Battle Road. So now, moving on to Super Physical, not surprised, I would also say that they are probably the best Super Physical unit. It is LR Gogeta. Now, you are actually never going to see their, like, fusion in Super Battle Road. You're never going to see this. Unless you're a free-to-play player, and you're just using a friend LR Gogeta. Like, it'll never last 6 turns, which is how long it takes for them to fuse. But either way, as an LR, attack and defense 120%, really good. Gets extra key for rainbows. Their leader skill, I didn't talk much about LR Cell's leader skill, but it's very good. Now, Super Physical, there are actually a lot of fusion options on Super Physical. Like, obviously, there's the LR Gogeta that we're looking at here. There's Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. There's Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks. There's also Weirus. But that's not what I would recommend in Super Battle Road. I would just recommend using this part of their leader skill, the 3 key and 90%, because even though you can use the fusion category and they will get a much higher stat boost, they aren't as good defensively. Like, every unit that I just mentioned doesn't have a defensive boost. Actually, I think Weirus might have like a 50% defensive boost, but either way, it's not great. Yeah, and they can fuse. You probably won't see that, though. They're just, overall, everyone knows how good they are. We're just going to move on now. So moving on now, it's our boy, the newest LR in the game, as of me recording this, I should say. LR Frieza. LR Frieza is definitely the best unit on Extreme STR. Because if you think about it, who else is there? Because he's the only summonable LR, and everybody else is just kind of, like, a little old. I don't know. So he is really, like, the only one of his kind there. Like, a lot of people are going to say LR Broly can carry you in Super Battle Road. And that's how I beat it for the first time, but this Frieza is definitely better. Because in Super Battle, you're going to be taking damage, so you're going to get a lot of his passive active. And pretty much each time he attacks, he's just going to be one-shotting them. Like, even if he doesn't get his 18 key, because if you look, even his 12 key causes Mega Colossal damage. And the only other LR that does that is LR Gohan. You know, so the first LR and the newest LR are the only LRs that have Mega Colossal damage on both their 12 key and their 18 key super. Now, the only thing that's a negative with him is he does sacrifice HP, which is good for him, so he can get more of his passive active, but it's bad for Super Battle Road, because you're going to be taking damage anyway, and you don't really want to damage yourself, if that makes any sense. But this guy can definitely carry you, because attacking defense 80% with LR stats, that is enough defense, because he does have some of the highest defense in the game. Like 14,000 defense is very good. This is just something that is completely off topic, but his art is super clean too. Overall, just a very good unit. We're gonna move on now to Super STR and the only TUR on the list. He's actually an EZA unit, but so we'll start off with his leader skill. This is actually a very usable leader skill. This is actually the leader that I'm going to try and use for the no item run of Super STR Super Battle Road. Now another unit that you could put here, and I couldn't really argue with, is LR Vegito Blue. LR Vegito Blue is also a really good option. They're both super defensive. This guy is definitely more defensive, but LR Vegito Blue is definitely more offensive. This guy has a high chance to stun the enemy. You really can't go wrong. I know people might be like, well, what about LR Beerus and Whis? They heal on super, but like, they take a lot of damage. Like, before they get hit, they don't have any defense, like, at all. So that's just one thing. So, reduces damage by 80%. He's going to be taking, like, double-digit damage from super attacks. And the high chance to stun an enemy, that doesn't work on a lot of modes, but in Super Battle Road, it does work, and it's very effective. And there are a lot of over and a flash units on Super STR that you can run beside him. Like, you could run STR Gogeta, you could run the EZA Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the STR one. You can't, I feel like I'm missing one. There's one more good unit for Super Battle Road that I'm forgetting, but either way, like, he's a very good option. Like, if you ran this guy as your lead, and you found another one on the friends list, you could do this easily. Like a no item run on Super Battle Road. I've actually tried it a few times. I got super close one time, but I could never find a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta friend. I could only ever find, like, Beerus and Whis friends, or 1000 Day Goku friends. But anyways, this is the only non-LR on this list. Now, this guy was almost an EZA unit. He was almost a TUR. Now, you can tell me that Janemba is the best in Extreme Int Super Battle Road. I couldn't argue. But, like, LR Bojack is still such a good defensive unit. It's almost insane. So he gets attacking defense 80%, which is already very good. And he gets an additional attack boost of up to 75%, not 75, up to 70%. The more HP remaining, the greater the attack boost. But he also gets more defense, the less HP remaining, the greater the defensive boost. And Bojack is in, like, the top 10 highest defenses in the game, so if your HP is low, well, first of all, he's going to hit insanely hard, no matter what, because his overall stats are just crazy. But also his defense is monstrous. So I did end up picking Bojack. If you picked Janemba as the best one, I couldn't really argue with you. Also on his 18 key super, he raises extreme class allies attack plus 40% for one turn. That is on their 12 key multiplier, so it's not a true 40%, but, you know, either way. And on his 12 key, he greatly lowers defense, which is good for the Legendary Goku event. I'm actually not sure if I've seen a video of this guy in the Legendary Goku event. Someone out there, if it exists, link it to me. I want to see it. But yeah, this guy is super good. And his leader skill, you just use him because he gives 4 key and 100%. And 100% stats is plenty. And 4 key is just a crazy amount, just because, like, LRs, if you're running a double 4 key leader skill, they're going to get their 18 key supers much easier. Alright, anyways, moving on. Super Int, no surprise here. It's LR Vegito. LR Vegito, again, there's not really any good Potara units, so you're pretty much only going to be using this part of their leader skill, but I would recommend using a friend of them. And on Super Int, it's really not even close, because who would be, like, even close on Super Int right now? Honestly, because, like, people are going to say LR Gohan, but LR Gohan, he's a glass canyon. Cannon, not a canyon. But I mean, there's not really much to say here. They have the exact same details as LR Gogeta, except for they raise attack for 1 turn on Mega Colossal, which actually I think LR Gogeta does too. Never mind. They fuse, they heal once they fuse, which you probably won't see unless if you're just using them as a friend. This, like I've just said, but you're not going to see it much. If you do see it, I could still hear an argument that this is the best unit in the game. Just the transformed LR Super Vegito. I know a lot of people are going to say someone that we're going to see in a second is, but I don't know. I could hear an argument. So anyways, we're just going to move on. Everyone knows how good they are. The LR Go Bros. This is the one that I was talking about earlier, where it's like, I know a lot of people might be thinking, you know, he doesn't even have, well, they don't even have a tech part of their leader skill. How would you use them? You could use their leaders. Oh, hold up. I actually have a video on my channel using their leader skill on Super Battle Road, and it's very simple. There's a lot of free-to-play units, like the Tech Coat Vegeta is on Siblings Bond. The Tech God Goku, if you have him, he's on, obviously, Goku's Family. Goku's Family is a very large category, so if you can't find like that many Siblings Bond characters, it's not that bad. And also the Tournament of Power, Android 18. She's a very good unit on the Siblings Bond team, and she was featured on the Jiren banner, and I think maybe even the UI Goku banner. I'm not 100% sure on that, but she was featured on a lot of good banners, so you probably have her too. And I don't know, there's a whole lot of Goku's Family units. And on Super Attack, they greatly raise attack for both of them for one turn. They do Colossal on their 12 key, not Mega Colossal, but only LR Frieza really does Mega Colossal on his 12 key, other than LR Gohan, obviously. Now their passive, you're never really going to get it fully built up in Super Battle Road, because what they do is they get attack and defense 58%, and they launch an additional super, which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, which is 25%. Okay, I knew it was like 20, 25, or 30. And with each attack they perform, they get 1 key and additional attack and defense 10%, which does go up to 100% and 5 key. And they disable rage, but that's useless, honestly. Like, that's only in the Broly event. Yeah. Their active skill, a lot of people say you never see it, but in Super Battle Road I see it quite often. Like, there's even a video on my channel where it's like, I took them into category Super Battle Road, and I got 3 active skills. And I'm pretty sure that's the title of the video, so if you want to see that, you can check that out. And it wasn't difficult, because, like, there are 3 fights in category Super Battle Road. I got 3 active skills, so it's like, their active skill isn't that hard to get in Super Battle Road. So anyways, we're going to move on. And here, you know, came out at the same celebration. It's this LR Broly. Like, this guy was made to be a Super Battle Road killer, and he is. So his leader skill, he has Resurrected Warriors, which you can run very, like, good on Extreme Tech, because, like, think about it, Tech Easy A Cell, the first form transforming Frieza, who else? The Tech Golden Frieza, who has an Easy A on JP and not yet on Global. There's a whole lot of Resurrected Warriors on Extreme Tech, and if you don't have them, obviously you can just use Extreme Tech. So he lowers defense for enemies on a super, which is whatever, unless if you're in the Legendary Goku event, and I would not recommend using this guy in the Legendary Goku event, let me just tell you. But his passive, he gets attack and defense 90% when performing a super attack, plus an additional 50% if it's an ultra super attack, which is already good because those two multiply together, which means that he will be hitting incredibly hard. And he launches an additional super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. That is Super Battle Road. You're never start off facing 1 enemy, so he will just, like, murk people. And he transforms when conditions are met, which is super easy because he just transforms starting from the 4th turn of battle. He has great, like, just Super Saiyan links, which isn't super good for Extreme Tech, but if you're running him on a category team, it's crazy. So now, moving on to his transformation, which I feel like you can see in Super Battle Road, you might not sometimes. He gets attack and defense 100% when performing a super attack, plus an additional 88% if it's an ultra super, which, it's crazy because, once again, this does multiply together, and that with Mega Colossal, it's insane. And he launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when facing 1 enemy, launches an additional super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. Now, that does stack, which is crazy. How many times can I say crazy? We'll find out. But, like, this kind of breaks the game, because the way it used to work, it's like, oh, you start off with 2 enemies, then you're just going to get the 2 super attacks. But the way it is, if you start off with 2 enemies, he gets 1 super, and then he gets another super, and then let's say that second super kills that enemy, he will get this additional, which has a medium chance to become a super when facing 1 enemy. He will get that because there's only 1 enemy left, and it will activate mid-turn, which they're starting to do that with units now, where it's like kind of breaking the way the game works. And as soon as he transforms, he can use his active skill, which is Kakarot, gives him 24 ki and attack plus 48%, which, by the way, is a true 48% buff, which means it makes him hit like 1.5 times harder. It's a lot. So yeah, it says it can activate as soon as he transforms. He's like top 5 unit in the game. I honestly think so. Alright, moving on. Yeah. Moving on. LR Baby. Now, Artificial Life Form is not a great team, I'm gonna be honest, but if you're just using this part of his leader skill, he's good. And in Super Battle Road, at least in the type stages of Super Battle Road, it's gonna be very, very easy to activate his entire passive. He gets 3 ki and attack and defense 100%, which for an LR is good. And actually, he has very high attack. Anyways, besides the point, I just got distracted. He gets an additional 3 ki and 50% attack when facing a Pure Saiyan's category enemy, and then he gets an additional 50% and 3 ki when facing a Hybrid Saiyan's enemy, and he has a high chance to turn into a giant ape when HP is 40% or below, once only. Now, in in the extreme stages of Super Battle Road, most stages have a Pure Saiyan and a Hybrid Saiyan, and I'm pretty sure everyone does in the final fight. Like, I'm pretty sure there's the... Actually, no, there's Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo. But other than that one, you're going to get his whole passive active a lot. So that's very, very good. And 100% defense, even though amongst LRs he does have like a pretty low defensive stat, all things considered, that is enough for him to tank. He is very, very good. I feel like people say he's one of the worst LRs, and I don't think so. I think people are going to be upset about this, but I feel like LR Trunks could probably be worse. LR Trunks and Mai is definitely worse. LR Trunks and Mai feels like they were a free-to-play LR, and then they just buffed them a little bit and made them summonable. I don't know. But anyways, that is it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel. My name has been Blah, and I'll see you guys next time.